everyone, it's Miss Goldman. We are here for our 18th lesson of Eureka, Module 5, and we are continuing working on fractions. I can't believe we're almost done with them. We are getting through it, and I know you all are working really hard at home doing these. I know it's not as easy as when we're in the classroom. So as always, remember there is a PDF version if that helps to look at the pictures in case they may have moved from the Google document that you have to do your work on. So if you are deciding you would rather print these out and do them on paper, make sure you are sending me pictures on Google Classroom or to Class Dojo so I can see the work so you can get credit for it. Again, this is going with the live lesson that I did earlier that day. And remember, if I'm going too fast, you can always press pause. So let's get started. So for these problems, what we're going to be doing is comparing fractions again with greater than and less than. But this time, instead of having the same numerator and different denominators, this time we have the same denominator for most of these. As you can probably see, number 3 is slightly different. And then all you have to do is make the denominators the same, or you can try changing both of these on the number line as halves and as fourths. If you do decide you want to make the denominators the same, what you have to do is multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number on both sides so that both are equal. We will be getting into that too. So let's begin. As you see, number 1 has been started for us. We have 0 fourths, 1 fourth, 2 fourths, 3 fourths, 4 fourths. They're a little off, but you know 4 fourths would go here, 3 fourths here, and 2 fourths here. Then, as you can see, we circled 1 fourth because it said circle the fraction with the distance closest to 0. And then we see 1 fourth is less than 3 fourths because 3 fourths is already over here closer to the 1. Now you're going to try 2 and 3. And remember for the problem 3, that one does have the same numerator, so you can remember practicing it that way. Would you rather share half a pizza or a fourth of a pizza? All right, we are going to be going over the answers. If you need more time, just press pause. So here you can see we're going over the answers. We can see that 2, 6 is closer to 0, making 3, 6 greater than 2, 6. So 2, 6 is less than 3, 6. Over here we have 1 fourth and 1 half. As you can see, I did the halves on top and the fourths on the bottom. And I circled 1 fourth because 1 fourth is less than 1 half. So 1 half is greater than 1 fourth because 1 half is closer to the whole. And let's keep going. So over here, we're doing the same thing again. Again, look, the numerators are the same for number 4. We have 2 and 2. But over here, they're a little bit different. We have 4 and 8. So you can, like we just did in the last problem, draw it out as fourths and as eighths to compare. I'm going to go over the answers in just a few moments, so I will let you know when I'm about to do that. All right, and we are going to go over the answers. As always, if you need more time, just press pause. So here we start reviewing the answers. As you can see, 2/3 is greater than 2/6 because I, as you can tell, broke this apart. I did the 6 on the bottom and the thirds on top. If you can kind of see, there's two different color lines over for the thirds because I did them as two different ones. That way it was be easier for me to tell them apart. So I have my 1/3, 2/3, and my 6 fractions on the bottom. As you can see, 2/6 is closer to 0 versus 2/3, so 2/3 is greater than 2/6. Now for problem number 5, it says 11/8 we know is less than 7/4 because, again, if you look at it, 11/8 is closer to that 1, which would be closer to the 0, and 7/4 is closer to that next whole number. So let's continue. So here it says, Joanne and Lupe live straight down the street from their school. Joanne walks 5-6 miles and Lupe walks 7-8 miles from home from school every day. Draw a number line to model how far each girl walks. Who walks the least? How do you know? Using pictures, numbers, and words. So you can draw those number lines again. Take your time. All right, I'm going to go over the answers. As you can see, I did the 6 on top and the 8 on the bottom, and I've highlighted them in the color of what I highlighted earlier. You could also label it as J and as L to see it. And who walks the least? I wrote out the sentence, Joanne walks less than Lupe. Because as you can see, we took them apart and we put in labels. As you can also see, I labeled the fractions in 2 different colors to make it easier to tell them apart. My lines are also in 2 different colors as well. So let's continue. All right, Cheryl cuts 2 pieces of thread. The blue thread is 5/4 meters long and the red thread is 4/5 meters long. Draw a number line to model the length of each piece of thread. Which piece of thread is shorter? Explain how you know using pictures, numbers, and words. Now, if you want to, you can do what we have been doing, which was use one number line, but if you decide you want to have 2, just make sure they are the exact same length and they are underneath each other. So if you're doing this, for example, you're going to draw one line. I know it's a little bent. Let's try if I can see if I can do it again. I don't do it thicker, maybe that'll help. Draw one line. No, that didn't help. So that's my blue. And then my red. As you see, I'm doing it right under it to make sure that they are the same length. So take your time. One thing that's helpful too, if you have a ruler at home, you could draw these lines on with a ruler and make sure your measurements are equal. And we are going to go over the answers. So as you see again, I decided to do it all on one, but I made different lines for the different colors. And you can see the blue piece is shorter. And again, I labeled them with the colored dots matching how I underlined it earlier. Now, as you can see too, I did pink instead of red. That's okay. It's whatever works for you, and whichever will show me that you understood it and were able to tell the two threads apart. Let's get going to our last problem. So Brandon makes homemade spaghetti. He measures 3 noodles. One measures 7/8, the second is 7/4, and the third is 4/2. And they're in feet, and it's feet long. So draw a number line to model the length of each piece of spaghetti. Write a number sentence using greater than, less than, or equal to compare the pieces. Explain using pictures, numbers, or words. I would like you to try to use all 3 if possible. So take your time. All right, we're going to go over the answers. And as you can see, I still color them in different ways to separate each one. So we have 7/8 is less than 7/4, and 7/4 is less than 4/2. So you can see here's my number line. I made sure when I did this, I knew I was going to get up to 4/2. And you can see I numbered them 7/8, which is the first one. And you can see I underlined these still in different colors, even though my dots aren't exactly the same with them. And that was our last part and last question of the day. So I hope this was helpful. I know this last problem may have seemed a little bit more confusing. If you're confused with it and stuck, just let me know. That's all right. And I hope to see you in our live lesson tomorrow. That way, if you do have any questions, I'll be able to help you right there. And you'll be able to tell me which part you're at, and we'll work through it. And I will hopefully see you live tomorrow. Stay smart, go for the gold, and be the best gold medalist I know you are. Bye.